Hey, Mr. Client, how's it going?
This right here is my last dollar. And if you fuck me on this deal, I will straight up kill you.
That sounds intense, bro.
So it's been 5 minutes and I just Googled myself and I'm not number one yet.
You know, SEO takes a few months to work.
Hey, I know I can only pay you $50, but if you do this, I will bring you so much business and so many clients down the road.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's gonna be plenty of business later. What's up guys, it's Frankie here. In this video, I wanna show you guys the exact funnel we have used for years to bring the premium clients in the market. And most people, by the way, are unknowingly creating what I call broke people funnels, struggling to get paid from the people who just really don't have any money in your marketplace, does not depend on your niche. And I wanna show you guys exactly what we've done for years that you guys can ultimately do for yourselves to get the people who can afford to pay you top dollar. For those of you guys who don't know me already, my name is Frankie Finn. I wrote this best-selling book, just launched another, by the way, called Passive Automated Recurring Income, which hit #1 in 3 different categories, built 3 of my own agencies, and helped thousands of people around the world to live this more beach, less laptop lifestyle. Let's get into the good stuff. So I know it seems like just nothing but pure shenanigans around here, but I want to show you guys something that today will be a game changer for you guys, because a lot of people unknowingly don't really think about this and are creating funnels and machinery that brings in the broke people. So if you could get 100 people in your room, I wrote 10 of them, but imagine this is 100 of them. There is an 80-20 that says, if you could get, say for example, you work with dentists or e-commerce or online coaches, doesn't really matter. 80% of the people in your industry spend only 20% of the money on marketing. And that means if you had 10 of them in a room, 2 of these guys would spend more money than 8 of them put together by an order of 4. And so most people unknowingly are creating funnels like this. And there's 3 levels to this. One of these I call is Jerry the Generalist. And usually when you're Jerry the Generalist, it means you'll do anything for anybody with a credit card. And I wrote these numbers. This is in niches I've worked in. But typically, like, Jerry's usually going to pay you anywhere between $500 and $2K per month for some kind of recurring service. Now, there's a level past that I call Steven Specialist. And Steven's usually getting paid anywhere from $1 to $5K per month, almost always for the exact same work. In fact, I used to find it funny when I was a generalist that I would struggle to sell a $1,000 website, and then people in the same niche as me would sell $40,000 websites. And there's a last one past this, and this is the funnel I'm going to show you, which is Cedric the Celebrity Authority. And he routinely gets clients that are usually anywhere in the range of $5K to $20K per month. I'm going to show you guys exactly how we've done that. So I just wanted to preface this. Now let's talk, before we do it, the funnel not to do. What most people do is they create a Jerry funnel, and it's usually one message or one ad, and it sounds a little something like this.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. So here's my number, now buy my shit.
So we want to aim our shit a lot more precisely at the people in our space that can and do pay top dollar for marketing services. And as Jeff Miller would say, have $1 million budgets instead of $1 million dreams. And so when you really aim at these people, it's kind of like this.
Ho ho! Bingo! Ho 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 ho!
Bingo! Ho 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 ho! Good old Luigi. So let's talk about the funnel, okay? So the difference, by the way, between Steven Specialist and Cedric the Celebrity Authority is Steven specializes in a particular niche, and Cedric has taken it one level further, where he uses the power of media to create a reputation before him so that when he walks in the door, he has this. So I'll tell you, the first place that we began our stuff with was the old Facebook ads, and we drove folks to a webinar. And a very, very important detail, that webinar speaks to wealthy people problems. So for example, when I made funnels for broke people, it sounded a lot like, do you desperately need clients? Do you need to get somebody in the door? Do you need an infusion of cash flow? And with these people, I would talk more like, hey, have you found like your TV ads are getting too expensive? Is it tough to keep up with payroll? Do you need work for your team? Right? Rich people problems. And so this webinar was focused on solving rich people problems. Now, we never actually, by the way, got any huge numbers on this. In fact, I remember looking at our stats, And we had about 400 total opt-ins for this. But it didn't matter because we knew we were solving rich people problems, and so you don't really need a lot of them in a funnel to hit big numbers. In fact, if you got a 5K a month thing, if you just get 20 of them to sign up, you're a millionaire. Amazing, right? So the next thing we did is after they signed up, they would get a series of email, and these emails would feature media. Why media? A good question. I'm glad I asked it. Well, I hope you guys are following along. Why media? Because I've been in the room in some of the top masterminds with some of like the top personal injury attorneys, worked with a few as well in the plastic surgery space in my first agency. And behind closed doors, most of the people that are the top spenders in the space are asking one question. Who is the best person you know for blank? Around here, often they just get cold pitch something and they buy it and they try it. Not that these people don't try stuff too, but they're far more interested in like who actually knows how to do this shit. Money is no object at that level. They just want to work with the best. And the signs and trappings of the best come in a lot of different flavors. So one of those is speaking on stage. Okay? So speaking is one of the fastest ways to up-level your status in an industry, and I would recommend that whenever you speak, record that shit and also turn it into content that can be automated. So this was an automated email drip campaign, and we had about 10 to 15 of those. Speaking, okay? Another one of these is what I call the magazine. That's a MGZ, that's terrible writing, but I write like a doctor right there. But MGZ stands for magazine. And I'm going to come back to this in a second because a lot of you guys may look at this and think, well, I can't do these things, and I'm here to tell you you can. So interviews, podcasts, expert interviews, things like that. Another thing is a book. And then the last piece is what I would call implied endorsements, which is you're seeing around other top people in the industry, right? Like some of you guys who watch my content said, hey, Frankie knows Jay Abraham. Like my perceived status goes really, really high. Jay Abraham worked with Tony Robbins. He works with Damon John. If Frankie knows him, he must be cool, right? So my perceived status goes up. Now, a lot of people, when they hear that, they go, well, I don't know how to speak on stage. Well, I'm here to tell you it's actually easier than you think. And for 3 years in the personal injury space, to illustrate this with a story, I got a chance to work behind the scenes, actually creating some of the conferences, putting together workshops, and we had a continuous problem in that space. And it went something like this, is that, by the way, almost always the top people in your space are content creators. And what we found is it was very, very troublesome to continuously create content because you have to collaborate with other people. So we would have conversations like, hey, we're supposed to publish a newsletter today and our writer went missing. Like, we got to put something, or we got a big blank space. Or, hey, we would do a webinar every week and we go, we don't have a guest 3 Thursdays from now. Or we do a podcast every Friday and we'd be like, we don't have a podcast guest 2 weeks from now. And when we would speak on stage, people would come to the conferences, the same people every year, and they'd say, I'm not going to go this year, I'm going to skip it. It's the same old speakers I've seen a million times. And so we would have to scramble behind the scenes to find 5 or 10 new speakers. Well, their problem is your opportunity, because I promise you, the industry magazines need you to write. The stages need you to speak. The people who make the interviews and the podcasts, they need content. The people who, a book is probably another thing that's a whole other journey. I'll tell you, that's a lot of work. And then implied endorsements is co-creating stuff with other people. And what we would focus on, by the way, even though I'm showing you 5 of these here, is we would focus on getting 10 to 15. Now, why 10 to 15? Because they tell the story that you are, in fact, the best. And by the way, it just starts with one. And by the way, the one I started with was the Industry Magazine. I connected with the publisher on LinkedIn. And I remember I would just message him, hey, like, you're a publisher, that sounds really cool and interesting. How's that going? He said, well, it's kind of a shit show today. I had a writer bail on me. I need to go to print. We don't have anything. I got to have something ready for print in 3 hours. And I said, give me 45 minutes. I'll have a magazine quality article for you, and continue to write for him for years. I'll tell you, when you go to sell stuff to a marketplace, it's a huge difference between going, I'm Frankie Finn and I want to sell you shit, versus I'm the guy who wrote the magazine. Otherwise, clients look at you, when your status is down here, clients kind of look at you like the Bobs.
They ask, why couldn't the customers just take them directly to the software people, huh?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because engineers are not good at dealing with customers.
So you physically
take the specs from the customer?
Well, no. My secretary does that, or they're faxed.
So then you must physically bring them to the software people.
Well, no. Yeah, I mean, sometimes.
What would you say you do here?
So what would you say you do around here? One of the best lines ever. So you don't want clients who treat you like that. You want clients who perceive you as the very best in the industry, will pay top dollar, and these tend to be, by the way, the top 1 to 5% of your marketplace. So it means if you work with dentists, you're not trying to get any dentists. You're actually trying to get the top 1 to 5% of dentists. If you happen to do HVAC or plumbing, you're trying to work with the top 1 to 5%. Now what happens is there is another piece to this funnel. Since we were starting this funnel with Facebook ads, we would also use the power of retargeting to then show all of these different media pieces to people. Why? Well, because it says, I'm an expert without having to tell them I'm an expert. Right? So that's what you want with your funnel, is to create this high perceived expert status. And now it's not you saying you're awesome, it's your speaking stuff. It's your magazine article, it's your interviews, it's your book, it's your endorsements with other credible people in the industry that are doing this. And again, I know a lot of you guys may look at this and think this is actually super challenging, but it's really not, because the magazine needs you, the stage needs you, the people who do interviews need you, the Amazon needs content, they got to sell books. The people who do like that you would want to be endorsed and seen with, they are publishing stuff and they need help with it too. They can't possibly do it all alone. And so what happens is, the goal of all of this for the longest time for us was to then drive every single one of these things, drove people to a call. Today's version of that goes to a 5-minute video where they can see all the details, including how much it costs to work with us and kind of related details. But I wanted to show you guys this funnel because the vast majority of people unknowingly are creating what I call broke people funnels, and then they say, it's my niche. Everybody's broke in my niche. And the truth is, 80% of every niche is broke. But there is always somebody who's doing well, if there's a niche at all. Somebody who's got money. Like if you're in yoga, I think Alana from our mastermind who's in yoga, 80% of yoga studio owners broke or very close to it. But there's a couple of them that got like 75 locations. Like the ones with 75 locations are very much not broke. So you want to really think about your funnel as not trying to get anybody from my industry. Rather, I'm trying to get the top people. When you do this right, this is how happy you will get. So the last piece of this, by the way, is when people watch your offer video, is they simply either sign up to buy it 50% of the time, or they'll ask a question or two. Hey, this is my practice area. Would it work for me? And so when you create this, what I call the ultimate premium client funnel, and by the way, you can keep going with this. You can add more than 10 to 15, but you want your media pieces to actually do the selling for you if what your goal is to be Cedric Celebrity Authority and to have the top value clients in your industry. And by the way, what blew my mind is these people are also far easier to deal with than these people. Why? One, they're busy, so they don't have time to bother you about meetings and calls and updates and tell me it's not their last dollar. They're not stressing about it. In fact, often they don't even care about the numbers as long as it's working. Second reason, they also have had to figure out a lot of the challenges. So I think about the top attorneys, for example. Some of them have trained their entire staff how to close. They have a CRM where they put every contact in there. They know how to follow up with people as much as 6 times. They have a sales script. They know they have to follow up with leads quickly. They do it within 3 minutes. They have regular meetings every week to review calls, to review numbers, to continuously improve that process. Their team has training and ongoing training to get better at it. These people are fucking winging it. And you can send them sometimes hundreds of leads and all they'll say is, all your leads are shit, Mr. Finn. All your leads fucking suck. So if you want to get away from the kinds of clients who just tell you your leads suck and get more towards the premium clients who pay you top dollar and leave you the fuck alone, this is the funnel that has worked for us, and I haven't seen anything better in my 20 years of doing this. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. For those of you guys who are interested, by the way, We help people. We got a shit ton of tools for creating this inside of our Wolfpack Mastermind, including finding these people, including we have an AI tool to find them, we have an AI tool to pitch them, and we have an AI tool to create the media pieces. So you can actually do all of this in under 10 minutes and like start building out your premium client funnel. And once you got 10 to 15 of these, it's pretty much game over. You're going to be seen as an industry expert, and people are going to seek you out to pay you top dollar. If that sounds like your kind of thing, you can check that out at beyondagencyprofits.com/Wolfpack. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe because we're putting out some good shit and quality dad jokes and shenanigans as well as huge muscles. Appreciate you guys. And may the force be with you.
Hey guys, if you like this video, you may also like my best-selling book here, Beyond the Agency Box. It is all about scaling a digital marketing agency while eliminating meetings and phone calls. We actually sell our stuff phoneless. We don't have any client meetings, and we also hire our team entirely without meeting phone calls, which allows us to, you know, like actually kind of live a life. I've laid out the entire blueprint and everything you need to know, getting clients, onboarding, setting expectations, scaling, building a team, you name it. It has been a bestseller on Amazon now for over 5 straight years, but now you can get it even cheaper than you can get it on Amazon. So I can't tell you the exact price because it may change when this video is released, but there should be a link to it below, either in the description of the video or as well as a pinned comment. So if you're interested in that, check out that video and you can get a copy for super cheap.